want a cookie later?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay.
What kind of cookie?
Chocolate chip, but I'm doing a version where you add tangzong, which is like a bread softening technique, and also lets bread stay less stale, or not tangzong. It's like what you use for like Japanese milk bread, and then or Taiwanese milk bread. So tangzong is specifically a Taiwanese technique, but basically it allows the bread to not stale as fast because it like has more moisture, and apparently it works on cookies. So I'm curious because then if I do cookies across like a care package, if it keeps it soft longer, could be interesting.
Well, in that case, and it probably won't matter for that amount of time, but leave one for me in the morning.
Will do.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I can also, because this recipe normally takes a rest, so maybe I'll do it when I do the main batch, which is July 4th. So, yeah. Or are you going to be gone?
I'm going to be gone, but how much do you need the kitchen on the 4th?
I'll be...
Because I'll need it like that morning.
Okay, then I'll bake everything Wednesday night. Okay. And then I'll be out of your hair for that. Because I got to pack and then leave for the campsite on July 4th. So
because I'm making beer, and that's not like I don't have it.
Oh, you're making beer?
Yeah, but I don't have it in beer.
Oh, beer, yeah. Okay.
Not beer. Otherwise, I'd be out in the pork or something.
I did make...
Where it can explode. Yeah, I saw you were doing that. I figured that's what the pineapple is for.
Yeah. I'll leave one jar.
What was I saying? Yeah, anyway, I'm making beer, and I don't have like a recipe I trust to do like a slow cooker overnight.
Oh, gotcha. So you're doing it on July 4th. Okay, no worries. I'll be leaving like late morning July 4th because I want to get there like around 1-ish. So, yeah. But I'll do all the baking the day before so that you have the kitchen.
All right, cool.
Yep. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. Yep. Cool. You just realized you have the same toaster oven? Oh yeah, the Breville is the best, Lucas. I freaking love it. It's my roommate's, but like when I get my own place, I'm buying it. I don't care. Okay. This is a very sticky cookie dough. Okay. Since Mark doesn't want one tonight, I will bake two cookies. I'm gonna put it in the freezer, let it rot, and then and hopefully, yeah, put it in the freezer, let it get a little cold, and then I'm gonna do a little more cleaning, and then I think I'll measure out. It's actually kind of annoying to handle. I might measure out the cookies tomorrow, actually. Let it stiffen up overnight. And then, yeah. But yeah, the Breville's great. I love it. My roommate got it because he was looking for air fryers. And he got it because it was like multi-purpose. And then, honestly, the oven just has so much control, temperature control, that like once you go convection, it's hard to go back. Like when I have to do mass batches with this giant ass like imprecise cheap oven, it's like, man. I mean, I've used it enough that I know how to like manipulate it to get what I need, but it's just hard to get an even bake on that thing. And so like now I'm just like, if I can use the Breville, I'll use the Breville. If I have to do mass batches, I'll use the big oven. But like, yeah, for sure, like a nice convection just makes all the difference. It really does. And so when I do get my own place, I'll probably put in the, because I bake so much, I'll probably put in the effort to get it if it's not too crazy expensive, I'm gonna put in the effort to get a nice convection oven. Chances are, I think with any like newerish places, unless the place originally has gas, then yeah, it'll be a gas oven. But I know with like California codes, like it's hard to get, new gas stuff installed. So I'll have to deal with an electric stove, but at the price of, the way I see it, a convection oven, which will be nice. And then, guess I'll have to figure out what to do about this wok. I guess maybe I get a giant propane burner so I can do some proper wok frying, like an outdoor propane burner. But I have heard that if you get a flat bottom wok for electric and you use an induction burner, since an induction burner heats up the entire pan with magnets instead of like direct convectional heat, you can actually, if you're using electric, get to a closer rocket, like that level of wok hay and like rocket hotness that you get on a wok that you would normally get with like a rocket stove. You can actually achieve that with an induction oven better than even like one of these gas, indoor gas numbers that are a little more tame than what you see at a Chinese restaurant. So if I do end up having to do electric, using a flat bottom carbon steel wok with an induction burner is actually not a bad deal. Hey, Mocha. Yeah, you can never go back from convection. Thermometer in your oven. Oh, a thermometer oven comes with, sucks, so use a different internal one you bought. Works way better. Makes sense. Mocha, by the way, here is a professional chef, a professional pastry chef. Don't ask why I just did a spin. I just did. And I'm going to shout out Mocha because Mocha is a variety streamer, sometimes does cooking streams, should do cooking streams more often, but I know her setup is a little limited right now. But we'll do awesome video game streams. So anyways, shouting out Mocha. Mocha is fantastic. And yeah, Mocha always randomly shows up when I need tech support. Like either when I'm about to do something absolutely horrible and make my life hard and give me a piece of advice to make my life easier, or I just have a question and Mocha appears and goes, hey, I can answer your question. So, yeah. Mocha's great. Right now I'm doing Tangzong cookies. I think I said I would explain when we got to the cookie baking. But basically, Tangzong cookies, I'm making it because I think you heard me talk to Mark about it, but basically I just wanna like, oh, I guess Mocha, you weren't here, but I'm using Tangzong in cookies. I learned it from Saren, who then Lord Tox made it on stream, and then because of that, I'm trying it now because it was pretty successful with Lord Tox with Tox. So basically, I'm curious about it because apparently it stales slower because Tangzong, obviously, as you know, has better staying power. And so I'm curious that if this works, I'm going to like save one cookie throughout my entire camping trip and then test it at the end, or even longer. And then if it works, it'll be like the perfect care package cookie because then it like takes longer to stale and it'll still stay soft. So I'm very curious if it works. And so I'm trying this recipe out. It's a little bizarre because you use Tangzong and you use bread flour, which is nuts to me. And I'm very skeptical that it works. And I'm hoping it's not a super cakey cookie. I've heard it's somewhere between a cakey cookie and a chewy cookie. So like maybe that's an acceptable like balance. We'll see. Anyways, I figured a 4-day camping trip is like the perfect vessel to test the staling properties of these cookies. So I'm going to do that. And then... yeah, so anyways, that's what I'm making. And, Mocha, I made tepache. I was brewing pineapple beer. Also, You missed that. So I just bottled a bunch, and then I have this other one that's kind of a failure that wasn't brewing as much, and then I used regular brewer's yeast for it. And this one's still in its jar. And I don't have any bottle space, so this one will probably end up, I don't know, we'll see. I'm either going to find bottles to put it in, or something. I don't know, I haven't fully figured this one out. I'm also going to cut it with actual beer in hopes that it'll, taste better. But if I add the cerveza and it still kind of tastes like ass, I might just not bother with bottling it. So. Oh, you were out in the river escaping the 103 heat? Ooh. Were you like tubing, or what were you doing in the river? Also, I saw that photo of your chives. It was. You're right. You're right in calling it a bush. You early improvised toasted, but you had some extra tofu on rice with a cup of avocado mash out of avocados and some sushi wrap. Ooh, to make it a little silly. Dude, that sounds amazing. Toasted. I've never tried air frying or toasting tofu. That actually seems like it would work. Because like one of the problems with tofu is like either you have to use like a shit ton of oil if you're pan frying it so it doesn't stick to the pan. I mean, granted, fried tofu is fucking delicious, but it does take a lot of oil to do it right, and a lot of high heat oil to do it right if you're gonna fry tofu. And you gotta like, pat all the water out so it'll actually survive the fry. But I actually have yet to make it on stream. Maybe I'll try to make it before I get back to work. But I've been meaning to make goya champuru as part of my everyday eats, which is like an Okinawan bitter melon stir fry, and that requires me pan frying, um, pan frying, cubes of tofu. Um, so maybe I'll have to try that. I also found like an Okinawan craft beer called Orion recently. I guess it's been around for a while, but this is the first time I've seen it. So I feel like it'd be like the perfect opportunity to make some the Okinawan dish that I love to make. And my mom normally hates bitter melon, but when I make that, she will eat it, and she loves it. So just saying. Kayak and vibing? Ooh, yeah. Okay, no worries, Mocha. Thank you for like just hanging out as you're on your way home. Kayaking sounds awesome. I went kayaking. I never posted it. I should. I went kayaking last month, like about a month ago, in Michigan. Along the Huron River. Like as a trip down the memory lane, because I used to do it every summer. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Kayaking and vibing on rivers is like my favorite thing ever. So yeah, right now I'm purposely leaving my cookie dough since I'm like not letting it rest, and this is like a rather wet dough. I just kind of whacked it in the freezer so that, and just doing some cleanup before I start baking it, just because I want it not to be flat. Basically, I know that I know roughly how to not make flat cookies. I feel like I've made cookies enough, and so. Oh, thank you. It's my like mega random playlist. Thank you, Lucas. So like, uh, you haven't gotten to the weird stuff yet. The second that happens, I'm like switching. I'm gonna switch playlists, but it just comes in the order that randomly like. But yeah, I guess we're in the Billy Joel. It's basically by artist. So we've been going from like we started from Matt and Kim, and then we went to I think Death Cab, and then now we're in the Billy Joel section. But yeah, earlier we were at Fish. I mean, you heard it, Fish and Wilco. So I like this section of my playlist. I mean, it's my playlist, so of course I'm gonna like it. Yeah, my mega playlist is just basically called Note to Self Organize Your Playlist. And then I have actual playlists that have been organized. But like it's my first Spotify playlist where I just kind of threw in songs that I liked. And it's been growing since like 2011, 2010, somewhere around there. Ever since Spotify began. Okay, I'm just gonna let that soak. Oh, you heard some Radiohead earlier? Yeah, there was Radiohead. Yes, that is true. I mean, it's all in that era of like. I think when I think of Wilco, I think of Radiohead. So like, that's all kind of in there. Okay, so now that I've tossed it in the freezer, it definitely has more of the consistency of what you would consider cookie dough. So. Okay, so let's do 15. Let's do 13 minutes. Actually, we'll do 15 minutes and then check on it. We'll check on it at 2 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Because 12 minutes is usually my time for cookies. So we'll see how this goes. But I think the way this cookie is designed, I might have to let it go for a little longer just so it browns. Because we need to get that like cookie shine. That nice like cookie crust. So, and I think that needs time to develop that crunch. So that's important. Okay. And then as these cookies are baking, okay, that's just got to sit. Let's finish cleaning up space so it's not too crazy in here. Uptown girl. Okay. So I guess now that I have some time. Oh, wait, hold on. There's stuff off screen here that needs to be cleaned. Okay. I think now that I'm waiting, we're going to start processing this last thing of tepache. So I'm going to at least start filtering it. And then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. Ooh, this one definitely smells a lot more beer-like. It's also a lot more alcoholic, I can tell you that. Just checking for mold. Making sure it's still okay. Ooh, this is very boozy now. Holy shit. Okay. All right, time to add more booze to it. We'll see if it. I'm not the biggest fan of this. But I'm willing to waste a Modelo on this for this noble experiment. Okay. How's the progress? Well, we've got the cookies in the oven, Mike. Water. Wash it out. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lucas. And I'm now processing my shitty tepache. Which I was afraid that it wasn't working well. And that it would grow mold, so then I put in brewer's yeast to try to keep it alive. Or not brewer's yeast, just regular baking yeast. And holy shit, it is very boozy. It's very bitter, like very boozy bitter. So, very alcoholic. All right, let me grab that. And so, anyways, I'm gonna process it down because I think it's done. It should be done fermenting, and then I'm gonna add some Modelo to this. See if that makes it any better. And then if it really sucks, it's just going in the garbage. Well, if it's halfway decent, then maybe I might consider bottling it. So, okay. All right. I guess that's why if you're making beer, you want to use brewer's yeast. This actual bread yeast is a little bit insane. Or I should have used the other trick, which is I think you just literally add beer. And then use the yeast from the beer to like do the last leg of fermentation. Or maybe I should have done that instead. I guess next time if I have a tepache that's failing, I'm gonna attempt that instead of regular brewer's yeast. I happen to have, bread yeast on hand because I'm a baker. So I decided to try that instead. Okay. There's definitely a lot more. This pineapple definitely fell apart more. I can tell you that. Also, look at that cinnamon stick. It's really grown. It's a big fatty. Okay, let's throw the rest of this in here. I guess I'm like less concerned about trying to extract all the pineapple from this one because I'm like less enthusiastic about this one. Yeah, that's good enough. The rest of this pulp's going in the trash. I feel like that's a sign I should just give up on this one. Ooh, I smell cookies. 6 minutes to go. Okay. All right. Well, here goes nothing. Let's add some Modelo to this shit and see what happens. So it's like half Modelo, half Tepache. Okay. I am going to dilute it with ice cubes. Okay. It's passable as a beer. Yeah. It's very malty. Okay. I think that's I also don't want to get drunk, which is why he keeps seeing me to pour it out. The cerveza trick actually worked. Okay, so now I have to figure out how to bottle this. So I'm going to figure that out later. So I think what I'll do for the meantime is I'm just going to quick rinse this one out. And I'm just going to pour this back in for now. And then I'm going to figure out how to bottle this one. Also, this one I should mention has a much higher sugar content. And I also ran out of piloncillo, so I used like brown sugar, which is how I originally made it until I discovered I could easily source piloncillo. And so, yeah. Anyways. So this one's a lot more like malty, like bread, which obviously makes sense because I used bread yeast and I just poured an entire tall boy of Modelo Negra into it. So of course it tastes more like a beer. I think what I might do is, I don't know if I'm going to let it ferment any longer, so I might just, I have these ones that I think I wouldn't really use for fermenting, but I'll do it and then put it in the fridge. And I think that should be fine. As long as I like keep it cold so it doesn't like gas up too heavily, I think it'll be fine. But they're not my swing tops, so I gotta make sure I can use them. So I gotta check in with my roommate if I can borrow them.